Gaza and a crucial point in the war more than a month after the attacks of October 7th. Israel's military says it's now fighting inside Gaza City, where it says Hamas is deeply entrenched. Air Force strikes on the territory have already killed thousands of civilians. Our Charlie D'Agata embedded with the Israel Defense Forces in northern Gaza yesterday on a day when the UN estimates 15,000 people fled the area. He's back in Tel Aviv today. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nate. The commander we were with told us they had to fight their way in despite those airstrikes, but 3 soldiers were killed here in Israel on the day of the Hamas attacks more than a month ago. He said the fight underway inside Gaza is nowhere near as traumatic as the day they saw the victims of those October 7th attacks. The paratroopers of the 551st Airborne Brigade were among the first troops inside Gaza when the major ground incursion began. We passed through the border fence, picking up speed across the territory's northern scrubland. We've just crossed into Gaza, and as we have, it's not lost on anybody here that travel along the same sort of roads that Hamas gunmen used to cross over into Israel to launch their attacks. Machine gunners scan the horizon for potential ambushes, often launched from Hamas's vast tunnel network. We arrived to find the ruins of Beit Hanun, a city with a pre-war population of more than 60,000, now a lifeless wasteland. This is what heavy bombardment from the air looks like, strikes designed to destroy tunnels and fighting positions, and improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. But Lieutenant Colonel Ido Cass says they're still finding plenty everywhere.
Listen, the whole place, the kindergartens, the schools, the mosques, everything is full with IEDs, 150 IEDs in the last 5 days that we found.
He showed us what he said was a launch pad for Hamas missiles positioned right next to a family swimming pool. Even here, Hamas militants are still on the attack. When explosions and shots rang out, we were told Hamas militants had opened fire on troops with gunfire and an RPG. Hamas released their own video claiming to show street fighting in the next neighborhood southwest of here. Israeli forces have begun penetrating Gaza City itself. Our CBS News colleague, Marwan Al-Ghul, spoke to some of those fleeing the fighting.
Thousands of people have been walking for hours to cross from Gaza north to the south, carrying nothing.
Carrying nothing except a white rag of surrender, fear, and anger.
We are civilian people. We want to live in our land with peace, but nobody in the world will let us to leave.
There's no telling whether they'll ever be able to return home or if anything will be left standing when they do. Now, regarding the rules of that embed, the Israeli military has tight restrictions on coverage, mainly having to do with not showing anything that might give away locations or reveal identities of their soldiers. So the IDF viewed the raw footage as a condition of entry into Gaza, but had no control over our final report. Nate?
Charlie, you have reported from Gaza many times before. What struck you about this trip?
Well, Nate, the sheer level of destruction and the fact that there wasn't a single soul left around, a town of 60,000 people, aside from Hamas fighters. And I think the fundamental difference here is, unlike the previous times I've been to Gaza, like 2014, 2012, the military aim is a total destruction of Hamas, and in this case, the forced movement of the population from north to south, even if that's temporary. And then you have to scale that up when you think about Gaza City itself. The last conflict lasted around six weeks. This time, there's just no end in sight. Nate?
Charlie D'Agata in Israel, thank you.